Hey guys, what's up? It's Broventure here, and we are reviewing the EVOQUE VQ-150R. We're so happy because EVOQUE actually hit us up and gave us an opportunity to take this bike out, try it out, and give it a rip. And so today we're going to teach you guys how to set it all up and unbox this bad boy right now. Let's get into it. Oh, maybe we should actually use some box cutter knife. Lift her off. Here we go. Sweet, I like that. That's carbon fiber with gold rims. On the first look, man, this bike actually looks pretty clean. I'm actually super excited for this. If you're an average dude who knows how to use a wrench and other tools, you should be able to put it together simply. So we're gonna try to make this video as best as possible for you so you can follow along, make it simple too as well. So first off, there's 4 bolts on each corner right here. Well, 6 actually on each corner. Remove those to take off this frame to get the bike out. So we're using a 14mm or a 9/16, I believe it is, to get the bolts off with the ratchet. Now, for fair warning, Calvin is more the mechanic. He actually uses tools more often. I'm just learning. So once you take off all 6 bolts, you should be able to lift off this frame very simply, just like that. Be careful, it's pretty sharp and it's got some rough edges, so be careful with your hands. You can probably gloves on if you want. Go ahead and use a box cutter knife or a scissors to take off these zip ties.
And untwist the ties right here. These metal wires, you can twist them by hand, or you can cut them if you want easier access.
This is the handlebar. We're gonna go ahead and remove the plastics off the seat and off the bike because, yeah, just get rid of this bad boy right now. We don't need this here anymore. Okay, on the first set, if you look at this bike, man, to the eye, this is super clean. I'm pretty impressed. It's a very aesthetically pleasing bike. I've seen other Chinese bikes and other knockoff stuff. This is different from those, at least from my perspective. Man, it looks clean. I would ride this easily and stunt and flex on it because it looks super, super nice.
So inside this box we had before we opened, comes with reflectors, some hardware, the spark plug spanner, and some wrenches to take it out if you need it. We already have our tools, so we're using ours. But it also comes with the handlebar mounts, so we're gonna put the handlebars on right now.
All right, guys, so these are the handlebar mounts. What you do is you take off the 2 screws from the bottom, remove the top end, place it, line up with these 2 holes right here, and place your handlebars over top of it, guiding the wires to make sure it's in position. There's 2 grooved areas on the handlebar right there. What you want to do is line it up, place the top end over top, and let them glide right in. Very simple, very easy to do. Using a 13mm socket and a hex size 6 on a ratchet, we're gonna put this handlebar in place.
We have to catch the bolts from underneath at the bottom first, and then we can tighten the bolts at the top.
And after all 4 bolts are in place, you can attach this 13 to the bottom and the 6 on top, and that should be able to tighten them up properly.
Lines up, the handlebars are lined up.
So I realized trying to get the handlebar on properly, I'm gonna actually remove this faceplate first, and then that gives us full range of access. It's easier, so do it first. Now, once you've set up the complete handlebar, you want to remove the sticker that covers the Pro Taper guard. Boom. Clean. Next up, we're going to be placing the front wheel on the bike. It's simple to do. All you do is remove this one front end bolt that's here. You might have to use some muscle and assistance. But just like that, she's out. This is your front axle. This goes through the wheel, attaching it to the front spokes of the bike. So you might need some assistance for this part by getting some help from your brothers to come through and hold the bike up as you put the front tire, line up with the first front disc, brakes, and putting your spacers through, putting the wheel through. And the other secondary spacer as well on the opposite side, like this. And the axle all the way through. Once it comes all the way through, you've successfully completed this front wheel setup. However, you must put on this bolt. Don't ever forget this. As you guys can see, this bike isn't even complete yet, but look at how it sits and look at how it looks. Man, it looks really good. So using the 9/16 or the size 14mm and a size 18, we're gonna patch the front axle. You wanna make sure the front axle is on very snug. This is very important when riding this bike. Word of advice, when you're putting on the front wheel, you want to get some additional help to hold the bike up so you can actually slide the disc brakes into the brake pads, because without that help you might fidget a little bit and you don't want to break anything there, so make sure you get some assistance as you're doing that.
So the reason why this bike is slammed right now is because the back shock isn't actually attached to the back of the bike. We have to lift it up and put it in where this bolt is located. So I'm going to remove the bolt and then put the shock through it.
So to attach this front piece to the bike, you want to remove these 3 bolts from underneath this location down here. Twist this, put it in place, and attach the bolts from underneath. Tighten them by hand, and then use an Allen key to do the rest. Now we're putting the shock in place. You need some assistance to lift the back end so the shock can line up. Place the bolt through and through. Attach the nut and tighten it up. So we're using the size 12 on my side and the 15 on the left side, the socket, and we are tightening the shock up as strong as possible. This is a very crucial area of tension on this bike, so you want to make sure you put a lot of effort into it. So guys, we're almost there. This bike is almost set up and put together, and it looks super clean. I'm actually super impressed again, and I'm excited to ride her. Pause. One of the final steps here is to attach this shifter lever, and you want to make sure you place it in a position where your foot can actually get access into here, so make sure you're leaving appropriate space for you to lift and to shift. I place it in here. You want to attach the 10mm bolt to the back end and tighten it properly. When you're attaching the shifter link all the way, you want to make sure you don't go all the way into the shaft. You keep it just about halfway, because this bolt has to go through underneath this groove to get stuck in place. Somewhere around there. Next up, we got these reflectors that go on both sides of the actual bike. This is safe and good for you to put on in case you ride at night. And last but not least, this bike is fully complete, fully set up. You want to go over all the other bolts that are actually on this item as it came from factory to make sure they're all in tune, they're all tight, and they're secure so you are ready to ride.
Also, another suggestion I have is read your owner's manual to find out what your bike is capable of and what you cannot do, because this will teach you a lot.
So we just topped it off with premium grade gas. You want to make sure you use the highest quality gas when you're on these bikes, because cheap stuff just clogs up the carburetors. So guys, we've officially put this bike together for you, with you, and it looks amazing. We're super happy, super excited for this, and it could be yours too if you actually just hit them up. So we're gonna do our best to actually give you guys a startup video. First start, let's see how it goes. Turn the key on actually, which is underneath. Make sure the pump is primed, and clutch in, 1 kick.